Pipe Dreams is an installation that I did end of 2011. So it was a few months after the Syrian uprising, a few months also after what was called the Arab Spring, like the uprising in different Arab cities in different countries. This work was part of a project that I started working on that ended with an exhibition called Bad Images, looking at these low quality images we started seeing coming from the people on the street, these YouTube footage that started appearing, and in trying to dissect like how the proliferation of these images versus the images that were produced by the power, like the Syrian regime. The archive footage of the conversation between Hafez al-Assad and Mohammad Faris, the first Syrian cosmonaut, I had these images from a long time and I didn't know what to do with them. And with the Syrian uprising, I thought that is the time to look back at these images and to make a parallel between this very important moment in Syrian modern history, which is Hafez al-Assad sitting in his office, talking in a cosmonaut live on national TV. This conversation was broadcasted live, I think, throughout the Arab world. So it's a sort of a peak of the power of this regime, where lots of things are in play, where we see the father figure, Hafez al-Assad, talking to the hero about the nation, the Arab nation, the pride of the Arab nation. And another key moment for me also, which was the beginning of the uprising, where we see a large-scale statue of Hafez al-Assad being dismantled. So we see a large crane holding the statue very slowly, putting it on a truck, covering the head, and the truck leaves. This work speaks not just about Syria, but also about modes of functioning of different totalitarian Arab regimes and nationalist Arab regimes. Because this relation to the icon, to the creation of the icon, to the relation of the authority of the father figure, to the use of the hero as an image to bring all the nation around this figure. And of course, there's the rhetoric, the way the leader speaks, or what does he say. Through this, then we see another like YouTube image that's low quality, very shaky image of this statue, of the symbol of this regime being taken away. With everything that these two moments holds, also there's something not deceiving, but like the image tells also more than what you see. That when you see an image of a statue being dismantled, you start to think about Stalin, about Gaddafi, about Mubarak, these images of the statue being destroyed as a first sign of the end of a regime. But these statues the way these statues were treated, you feel there's something else happening. So these statues were being taken out by the son, by Bashar al-Assad, in order to protect them from the demonstrators, from the uprising. So and I thought that this is also a new way where this regime understand that the important is the image more than the symbol itself. So they would prefer to lose the symbol on the ground in order not to have images of destroyed statues. And this is something very new, I mean, very contemporary in this way of functioning. I think the Syrian regime, maybe also one of the reasons why they're still here today is that they understood how the new media, or how the image function, or how does it proliferate, and what value does it have. Without giving like a political commentary on the situation, without giving like a political agenda or where I stand from all this, just this parallel between these two moments I thought would speak a lot. I wanted the installation itself also to think of it in terms of cultural quality, like how these two images relate to each other. So you have an image on a monitor, which is sort of these broadcast monitors, which is exactly the type of monitor that you see in the office of Hafez al-Assad, through which he's talking to the cosmonaut. So there's this idea of the image inside the image, in a mise en abîme of the image. And facing it, there's this very modern mini projector that's small, that's also weak in terms of volume in front of this very massive monitor, and projecting an image on the monitor and on the wall behind. And then there's this conversation between these two types of images, these two qualities of images, where these two sources of images, where there's a conversation, but at the same time, the monitor blocks the larger image, and there's a shadow on the wall. So this image is never complete as long as this block, this monitor is obstructing it. And there's this overlap of these two images, where, especially when you see the text scrolling at the end. So it becomes sort of the prompt monitor reciting a text that already exists.